I figured out the hard way why this is called an anti-frost faucet. I'm Brad, this is DIY Wouldn't You, and today we're replacing this faucet because I busted it. Now last winter I had the hose hooked up out here, and the way that this faucet is, you have to wrench down pretty hard to get the hose on here. And it's so close to the house. One night we knew it was going to be below freezing, so I closed the faucet, opened the hose, and thought, well, that'll be good, rather than coming out here with pliers and trying to loosen the hose off of the faucet. I've heard people say that's not good enough and you need to actually disconnect the hose from the faucet, and now I know why. We left the hose on here. That night it got below freezing, and even though the faucet was closed and the hose was open so that water could flow out, when the water in the hose froze, it backed up into the faucet under the house and burst the neck of the faucet. Luckily, it was on the faucet side of the valve, so the lines under the house didn't leak. However, when you turn the faucet on now, the water leaks under the house through the neck. The first thing we're going to do is turn the water off where it comes into the house. The shutoff can typically be found in your garage or your basement. We're going to leave this faucet open while we're doing this. That way, if there's any more pressure, it'll come out here. But we're going to need to remember to close it back before we turn the water back on.
I'm going to cut this thing as close as possible so you've got as much PEX as you can get. And we may have to undo a couple of those little holders there to get some more length. But see this little tool here? It's a PEX cutter. I'm going to have to recut that to get it kind of straight because that's kind of at an angle. I'm just cutting a nice straight clean cut.
As far as the difficulty level on this repair, if you're the guy that gets reminded weekly or bi-weekly that your fly zipper's down, or if you're the guy that comes out of the bathroom with sprinkles on your pants breeches and you make comments like, oh, the water pressure sure is high on that sink, well, you may want to avoid this one.
There's the split right there. This is the old faucet, and when we climbed up under the house and we were looking, no stores had anything like this, and I wasn't sure exactly what to buy. So after talking to Daniel, since Daniel's done some plumbing work before, he said, just buy whatever and we'll put a fitting on it for a PEX. So that's what we did. We just bought a faucet with a 12-inch neck on it with male threads on the end, and then we bought a female to shark bite connector, and we're just going to attach the two with Teflon tape. Now Daniel's standard here on Teflon tape is 3 rounds. Don't know what typical is, but
that's what I'm doing.
That's what we're doing today. Now it's a lot easier if you've got 2 people. One person to hold the faucet, one person to torque on the fitting. If you don't have 2 people, well, you can do it yourself, but it may leak. Heck, it may leak for us too, we'll see.
We're going to leave this thing loose for the time being, then we're going to crawl back under there, and we're just going to leave it loose so we've got a little bit of play and maybe some movement whenever we hook this PEX in. I think it's going to make things a little bit easier, and then once we get it connected, come back outside, screw it together. The type of connector that Brad bought is a shark bite connector, and they work kind of like a Chinese finger trap where whenever you slide something in the PEX, you can't pull it back out, and it's a watertight seal. So we're not going to need any tools. We may need this under there to cut it to length, but we may not. We may just grab the PEX, slide it into the back of that, and that's it. I think that's it, man. So it's pushed together, feels snug, can't pull it back out. That's about it. Okay, so Brad has officially turned the water back on. There are no leaks. So with that, I'm going to put this insulation that's laying here back up in its place, crawl out of here, and we'll go back outside and screw everything back together. And we should be good.
Well, that's that. Don't be stupid like me and leave your hose hooked up because you have to use a wrench to take it off. Just take the hose off when it's going to freeze. Or if you are stupid like I am, use this video and it'll show you how to replace your faucet. If this video is helpful at all, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more fun stuff that we're doing, maybe subscribe to the channel. We'd love to see you back. Thanks for watching. I'm Brad.
And I'm Daniel.
This is DIY Wouldn't You. We'll see you next time.
This is a game of who's stronger. Would take some down. See who wins.
I've come to the realization that I say anti-frost faucet. That is not an actual thing. It is called a frost-proof anti-siphon faucet. That is the technical term for it. Don't go Googling anti-frost faucet, because you will not find much.
Let me think of what she called us.
Faucet?